Bang, look at that. Lightning bolt right there, right in the face. Boom. New brand on the channel today, Hylo Athletics. Bada bang, their logo is a lightning bolt. That's pretty sick, huh? And if you are looking to add a new shoe to your rotation, look at this segue, check out the Supwell app. So the Supwell app is my app that I started. It's a place for hobby joggers to gather to buy, sell, and trade gently used running shoes. We also have training forums. You can post questions on your training. You can post your wins of training. We all help each other be consistent and accountable and make progress, and we celebrate all of our goals. So if you're looking for a new community or a new shoe, that's the thing. We got the function of the shoe marketplace and we got the community. Check out the Supwell app. It's $1 a month. Link is in the description below. Enjoy today's video. We are back outside. We're back outside, man. It's been a while. But guess what? Guess what? We are back at the shoe market, putting in work. They can't stop us. Little spiders can't stop us. The big spider web, it can't stop us because we're unstoppable at the Mint Hill shoe market. Let's go. All right, here's the deal, guys. This week, what I'm going to do, I've had a lot of shoes sitting in boxes in my office. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of them, but some of them, at least this one and one or two others that have just been sitting there for some reason. Oh gosh, they brought the big boys out. They had to bring the big boys out for our return to the shoe market. Drop a bomb. Low boys don't know anything about the slug life. Because little boy's up here at night, flying around this little light, getting burnt. Because the moths don't know how to truly put in the work. We have the Hylo Impact here today. This has been sitting in my office for I do not know how long. Maybe 6 months. There's no real reason. It's just, I got it. I didn't run in it right away. Hylo actually sent this to me. I didn't run in it right away because there were tons of reviews on it and I was just late to receiving it. So I don't know. It was just sitting there. Charlie took it out. She was running in this a lot, running and walking in it about 6 months ago whenever we got it earlier this spring, and she loved it. This was her favorite running shoe for a while until all the fresh foam stuff came out, the 1080 and the more, and now she's been going heavily toward that. But she liked it for its softness, for its bounce. I also had one of these sent up to Caden, who was working on the track stuff, and he liked it for the softness and the bounce. So I'm thinking I'll give it a shot. Now, the deal with this shoe, run like the world depends on it. It's supposed to be eco-friendly, sustainable, green. Now, I don't want to be dismissive or flippant of brands who are looking to do something good. But I'm just saying this right now, the most eco-friendly, sustainable green shoe that you can buy is the one that's already in your closet. Don't buy another shoe. This is the thing. I sometimes I just run myself in circles when thinking about this because I do want to highlight and spotlight these products that are attempting to do that, like the Nimbus Mirai, which we have over here. But in the case of the Nimbus Mirai, this was supposed to be the eco-friendly, sustainable shoe from ASICS. They're just putting out another shoe into the world, which means they have to create different manufacturing setups and they're just producing more goods and it's more expensive than the standard Nimbus. So it's a little bit of a weird value proposition for me. And then is it going to be durable? That's the other thing. The most sustainable, eco-friendly shoe you can buy if you are going to go out and buy one is one that's going to last a ton of miles. And this is why I brought out the Ultra Boost this morning. I had a pair of these. Not this exact version, this is the new version, but my first or second pair of running shoes was an Ultra Boost. I put 700 miles on that thing. It was essentially indestructible. These midsoles here, the Ultra Boost midsole with beaded TPU, is indestructible. I also have a pair of Saucony Triumphs that use the same midsole, and they're indestructible. It's at 350 miles, and it's still going. So if you are really looking to get a lot of bang for your buck and to reduce waste, doing that with a shoe that's gonna last forever is probably a good way to go. So that's just a little note on what this shoe is trying to do. I like that Hylo is looking to do some good with their products. I was not familiar with the brand. They're based out in UK with all my mates, lads, and blokes. Let's just open it up. This is not a political discourse channel. Well, actually, sometimes it kind of is. But I mainly evaluate these shoes based on their running performance. So that's what I'm going to do today. Hylo Impact $165 daily trainer. That's supposed to be soft and bouncy. Let us see how it does. Huh? That wasn't me. That was the slug. He said, huh? I'm not a star. Somebody look. So this is the thing about all of these smaller, newer brands. It is really rare that a brand like Adidas will send a shoe in a box like this. So if you buy the Adizero SL2 through my Running Warehouse link on runningwarehouse.com, they're not going to send you it in a box that looks this cool with this little stripe and all this text and a little tagline. So all these newer brands, they do make such an effort with the branding and the package design and the products. I love it. So that is something to note. Some of these challengers, to crack into the category, the brand is what does a lot of that heavy lifting. So let's just read this to highlight it. Hylo Impact, proof that nature can perform. We'll see. We'll see if that's true. I've heard it's true. A lot of people are saying it's true. The perfect balance of cushioning and propulsion to set the pace for shoes to come. So I guess they're saying, bro, keep an eye on Hylo because we're going to be dropping heat. We'll see if that's true. And then they list 4 different technologies. So when they sent this to me and when they sent over the media kit, this was something that I thought was a little bit funny. Just, are you really a running shoe brand if you don't have every single technology named? I find it just, you don't need to do that. You don't need to name. So they have their foam named Hyperbolt, a new frontier of foam, hyper intelligent and injected with nitrogen. Supercritical EVA. That's what it is. Their midsole is a supercritical EVA, similar to what's in the Mach 6. Pure Glide, our house geometry, sculpted by data to smooth transition from heel to toe. It's a rocker. All right. Clean Tech, fossil fuels, your races run, outpacing synthetics with renewables. Not going to touch that one. High Loop, more life, less landfill, running circles around single use with NFC activated technology. So this one, I do think this is something, there's something with the upper being reusable. So that is kind of cool. We'll see if it says anything else about it. No, just a little green here, US men's 10.5. So they have put a lot of effort into making this an attractive, desirable product, which you have to do if you're a challenger brand. That was one of the things that I thought about the Nimbus Mirai. It looks kind of cool, but it's just, I don't know. They didn't put that much effort into marketing it. They made it more expensive than the regular Nimbus. So if you actually are putting out a product that you feel is going to shift environmental impact, and that's theoretically what this shoe would do, right? If everyone bought this instead of the Pegasus, theoretically environmental impact would be lower. We'd be producing less waste. That's the thesis of this shoe. Again, I'm not here to say whether or not that's true. But that's the background of the Hylo Impact. Let's see if it has swag. Most importantly, who cares about the environment? I just care about dad drip. Bang. All right, so yeah, look at this. This packaging is just beautiful. I'm a big fan. Look at this. You have a light. Oh, you can't even see that. There's a lightning bolt, their logo, on the inside of the box. Everything is just put together really well. As I said, I'm not super familiar with this brand, or I wasn't familiar with the brand at all, but it's almost a Tracksmith level of detail and design that they've put in this. And so look at this colorway. This is Bang certified for sure. This is Dad Drip for sure. So Charlie actually had a white colorway. I'll see if I can pull her colorway out in a sec here. This is a creamy tan. And yeah, pushing in this midsole, giving me big supercritical EVA vibes. And I actually gave away my Hoka Mach 6, but throughout the whole time where this was sitting in the box, that's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about running the shoe. I was saying, okay, it's a more expensive Mach 6. So $165 versus $140 for the Hoka Mach 6. And a lot of the shoes in this category of lighter weight, I'm actually not sure, it doesn't feel that lightweight, but peppier, not super high stack shoes with this fun bouncy foam are coming into that $140 price point. Nike Pegasus Plus is actually coming in at $180, so that is more expensive than this. But with this, you're paying for the design, you're paying for the cool, trendy brand like Tracksmith, like some of these other brands. You're paying for the environmental cachet. So I do think this thing, I think I took this out of the box when we first got it. That's why the laces are all messed up. And then I just haven't used it since then. But I absolutely love the way this looks. We have this oatmeal or barley colorway here. You can see they have all these nice little details. Their logo is a little lightning bolt on the side. We have some overlays. That is one thing. This upper looks a touch narrow, but Charlie liked it, and she tends to have a slightly wider foot, so hopefully it'll be okay. But this little overlay here looks like it'll help with some water if you get a little bit of rain. On the front, they've wrapped the rubber up, and look at this. The rubber on the bottom, it's not a traditional outsole like you might see. Let's see. Look at the Adidas outsole, just normal rubber laid out here. This is done in strips. It's literally strips here on the outsole. It makes me think I could just peel it off. I don't know. It's one of those things where I want to just try to peel it off, like the little, if you ever put up 3M hooks on the wall, and then you have those little tabs sticking there after you take the hooks off. That's what this is. I just want to peel it off. But no, you cannot peel it off. It is glued down good. That sucker is stuck there. And again, another little nice touch. Run like the world depends on it. That's their motto, or that's their rallying cry. With this shoe, you get these little cool grooves. It almost looks like a topographical map with these grooves in the bottom of the shoe. And then Hylo Athletics stamped on the bottom with their lightning bolt. So everything about the design of this shoe is highly considered, down to the rubber. 2 different colors of rubber with the totally unique layout. I have never seen anything like this before in the 60, 70 plus shoes I've tried in the past year. And then look, more details in the back. You get their logo again, the little lightning swoosh, and then all these different symbols here. I'm wondering if these symbols represent their technology or what it is. I'm not sure. And a little maybe leather or faux leather pull tab in the back. Hyperbolt midsole stamped on the inside of the shoe. And again, if you look at the way that this midsole is sculpted, more cool details here with how they've taken out a little chunk of the midsole on the back. They do have it sticking out, the midsole, for some more stability on the back, but they've taken out just a little bit of a chunk here. They've stamped the midsole name, and then again, run like the world depends on it. So lots of cool details and Easter eggs. It reminds me almost of a car. Jeep does this a lot. There's other car brands, Tesla, who do this little Easter eggs all around a product to make you feel the spirit of the brand. They've done a great job at that, and smaller brands have to do things like this. The Tracksmiths of the world, the Atreyus of the world, you have to bring something different to compete. If we're thinking about comparing to a shoe like the Audi Zero SL, now this is one of my favorite in this category of fun-oriented everyday running shoes, and this thing is all about the technology and the product. Bang! You got the race foam in the middle here, wrapped by the training foam. You're not going to see a lot of fun details. This is business, 100%. This is like the Mazda Miata of running shoes, just fun in performance in a lightweight, affordable package. There's no gimmicks whatsoever. They just let the tech do the talking. Again, straight business. So we'll have to see how the Hylo Impact runs, but I do like that they put all the attention to detail again on the tongue. Look, on the tongue, you have the logo again, and you have that little quote, run like the world depends on it, in the inside. So product design, I will give this a 10 out of 10. I will 100% be wearing this around casually if it fits my foot. It is a little bit maybe even overstyled for my personal style, but I think because of this muted colorway, it really works. It almost looks like a van shoes mixed with a running shoe. It's just a sick look. So shout out to Hylo putting in work on the design. Let's throw this thing on the scale and see where it comes in for weight. See if all the named technology that they have in here is up to par with the rest of the industry. And I'm telling you, they really brought the big ones out. Bada boom, bada bang. They said, bro, keep putting in work at the shoe market. All right, let's weigh in the Hylo Impact here. Yikes. I'm honestly not sure what to say. Let me check the stack height of this. I think it's something like 35 in the back. Okay. That's better. Still not great when it comes to the weight, but Running Warehouse measured this as 39 in the back, 31 in the front for an 8mm drop, but 310 grams. Let's just throw these other shoes on. So Adizero SL2, this is the closest competitor when we're out of the three shoes here when it comes to run performance. This does have Adidas's race foam, and of course Adidas is a brand that has decades of experience developing these compounds, whereas Hylo is brand new, and I'm sure they're working with contractors who have decades of experience. But let's just look at the numbers here. 260 grams. 260 grams. So the thing is, with the Hylo Impact, the type of person who they're targeting with this shoe is likely somebody who's going to use this as their one shoe. A more fashion-forward consumer who's environmentally conscious probably doesn't have a 35 shoe rotation. So this being 20% heavier probably isn't going to make the biggest difference. But I'm evaluating it based on the performance. And so for me, that is heavy. That is heavy for what this shoe is and for the market it's targeting. So let's take a look at this. Nimbus Mirai. Look at that. Same exact weight. 311, 312. But this is more of a max stack shoe. This comes in above 40 in the heel. And it's designed as a cushioned comfort cruiser. And then let's take a look at the Ultra Boost. Around 300 grams. Same thing. This is designed to be an everyday running shoe. It just feels a little bit more if we compare these two shoes. And again, the reason I brought the Ultra Boost out is because this is one of the most durable shoes. So if you're conscious about how much you can use a shoe before it goes into the landfill, buying a shoe like the Ultra Boost or the Saucony Triumph 21, these are some of the best shoes you can buy for durability and for reducing the number of shoes you need to buy over your running career. But taking a look at the foam stack on these, yeah, Ultra Boost has a tiny bit more foam here, and it's coming in at a lighter weight. So a touch heavier. It does feel pretty dense, pushing. It's soft but dense in the Hylo, which is interesting. So we'll see. If it can give us some good protection, then I'm not going to bang it on the weight. But if it feels like I'm bottoming it out and it's super soft and it's mushy and I'm not getting a lot of protection, then that weight will become an issue. The thing is, I don't penalize shoes based on weight if the protection is good and if the bounce is good. So TBD. Let me just go through two more shoes on that I think will be competitors to the Hylo. All right, first, let's throw the Tracksmith Elliott runner on just because newer challenger brands, 282 grams. Stack height is a little bit lower in the Tracksmith. They also are using PEBA. Now, this foam isn't tuned to be as soft and bouncy as a lot of the PEBA that we're used to, the polyether block amide. It's more of a training variant where it's a touch firmer, but this is a solid workhorse. This is a beautiful shoe, by the way, and this does feel just a notch above any of the other shoes out here in terms of build quality and how considered it is put together. Even better than the Hylo, and that's why this is $200. And it looks like a premium product. And I don't like throwing words around there like premium and luxury. It looks like a product that's built to last, and I could tell you that it is. This is actually my second pair of Tracksmith. I have another pair of the Elliott runners that I beat into the ground, but they still there's no damage whatsoever. They're a little bit frayed, but they're in good shape. So, again, another shoe that if you want to really use a shoe and pay money for a shoe that's going to last, this would be a good one. I can't even let it touch the ground. It's like an art piece. And the other one I wanted to put on is the Pegasus Plus. So similar vibe as the Hylo Impact, designed to be peppy with a foam that's maybe not the lightest weight. Let's see here. 270 grams. So let's take a look, compare how much foam you're getting here. You are getting a little bit more foam in the Hylo Impact, and Hylo Impact is positioned a touch more as an everyday running shoe, whereas Pegasus Plus is supposed to be a little bit peppier and zippier. So we shall see. Let's lace this thing. Oh no, let's not lace this thing up. Let's do a QA check really quick. Hopefully, so the other one was 311. Let's see. Okay, it's now coming in at 310 on the other one. Man, that is not good. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of variance in the scale. Sometimes it'll be 1 or 2 grams different, but holy cow. Yeah, 296 versus 310. Again, it's hard to make a running shoe. It is really hard to make a running shoe. There's a big learning curve. It takes lots of experience. Look at this. A brand like Adidas, I pulled out 2 of their shoes, and I didn't even do that on purpose. I wasn't meaning to have this be an Adidas showcase, but how long have they been making running shoes? 50 years? I don't even know, but a long time. Longer than I've been alive. Right, so they have so much institutional knowledge built in. It's easy for them to crank out these puppies. That's also why they can price a shoe like the Audi Zero SL2 at $130. Now, this is a little bit overpriced in my opinion, the Ultra Boost at $180, but they've been doing it for a long time. And even the brands that have been doing it for a long time don't get it right. But we do see these newer brands, even a brand like Hoka, who's relatively newer compared to the Asics and Adidas of the world, have some QA issues. So different weights of these shoes. I'm sure there's other minor details that aren't correct. It's hard for these brands to get everything right on the first rev, but they make up for it by, at least in the physical design of the shoe, putting so much effort into the details. It's just design and manufacturing are 2 completely different things. And for these brands that are design-oriented, that doesn't always mean they're going to have perfect manufacturing. And I was actually talking to the CEO when he said he reached out. The CEO is the one who reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review this shoe about 6 months ago. And when he was emailing with me, he was in Vietnam looking for factories or at factories or doing something. So a brand like Hylo producing their first shoe, they have what? A month, 6 months working in one factory in Vietnam versus these guys. Let's see where the shoe is made. Probably Vietnam if I had to guess. Yeah, made in Vietnam. I'm sure their contracts are just wild and they're cranking out millions of SKUs, millions of products out of the same factory. So yeah, it's the trade-offs, right? It's the trade-offs. You're going to get more of a reliable product potentially with a brand like Adidas, but with this, you get to support the small guys, and you get a more beautifully designed product. So there's trade-offs with everything, but yeah, QA a little bit off there. All right, lacing up the Hylo Impact here. This really is a good-looking shoe. It might not be as clean design as the Tracksmith Elliott Runner, but they've done their own thing with it. It's got some swag. Upper here, let's see. Man, this upper is a tiny bit weird on the upper. They've done, and this is the thing with these brands, sometimes they can get a little too cute. Again, with a brand like Adidas, they're not going to get too cute. This is a little cutesy. With the front of the upper, the top lace goes over the upper fabric, and then the rest of the laces are independent. So that's a tiny bit weird, but so far fits comfortably. The material is a little bit thick on the upper. It's not a performance race fit, that's for sure. So I think that's probably where some of the weight is coming from. And then, of course, most of it is going to be coming from the midsole here, and stepping in, I can now tell why this is a little bit heavier. It's not super lightweight and super soft, squishy stepping in. As I compress it a little bit with my heel, I can feel it squish down. So this is going to be hopefully a pretty soft ride when running, but just standing, not as squishy as a 1080. Let's see how it translates to walking though. But I have this in 10.5, which is my normal size. So go true to size for sure. Not super narrow. It's definitely not a wide toe box, but it's okay. Maybe a little bit low volume, but this does feel like a material that will stretch out a bit. Oh man, this feels a lot squishier than I expected just walking here. This is a super comfortable shoe. If anything, my one complaint with it is the drop. It feels a little bit high. It feels like a 10 millimeter drop shoe. I know Running Warehouse told us that it's 8, but coupled with there's not a huge rocker. It almost has this triangular feel where it's flat and then the midsole is angled up, and that's similar to a Nike Pegasus or a Brooks Ghost, where you get that flatness and then angled up straight without a rocker. Let's take a look from the side. You can see exactly what I'm talking about here. Look, flat, there's not a huge roll, and then the back is higher than the front, of course, because of the drop. So it does have this slanted forward feeling. Not the biggest roll, but man, this foam, it just feels so good. It's honestly, walking in it, it feels like a better version of the Hoka Supercritical EVA. And one of the complaints with the Hoka Stack Flow, the Sky Flow, was that it was a little bit too firm. This is not firm. This is soft. This almost feels in between some of those softer New Balance shoes and the Hoka Supercritical EVA. So I have a feeling we're going to have a winner here. And I can tell why people, at least the people that I've talked to about this shoe, Charles and some others, like it. So plan for this run. We're going to go out for about an hour. Just nice everyday pace. Maybe I'll throw in some strides. And we'll see if this bad boy can rip. Walk test, though, it is a comfortable shoe. This is a comfortable shoe. It does give me more daily trainer vibes. So now I understand why it's a little bit heavier and priced at $165, which I felt was a bit steep. But it seems like this could be a solid pick. Could be a sleeper pick in the category. Let's see if it can really rip, though. Oh man, this foam. All right, early overreaction. I'm not even down the driveway, but this foam is legit. I can feel it. Holy cow. Yeah, this is soft. It's bouncy. Give me big Mach 6 vibes, just as I expected, but maybe even higher density, or definitely higher density foam, because it's heavier. So it feels a little bit more protective out of the gate. And it is squishy, but stability doesn't feel terrible. Very early overreaction here, but this is almost what I expected the Peg Plus to feel like. Instead, that was much firmer. There is a little bit of ground feel in this though. first straightaway here. This is solid. This is solid for sure. I know Charlie was hyping it up, but I don't know. This is better than I expected. I think I always have low expectations for newer brands. The one thing is, definitely more ground feel than I'm used to. Maybe even more than the SL2. This is not a max cushion gang shoe. This does have a fair amount of ground feel. So, just a note for my max cushion gangers out there. Mile 1, 7:30 pace. This is giving me big Rebel V3 meets Vomero 17 vibes. If you took the Rebel V3 and you amped it up to make it a workhorse, that's what you'd get. And New Balance doesn't really have a Rebel workhorse style shoe. Theoretically, that's what the Balos was supposed to be. And I guess that's what it is. Shout out to Waist Pro putting in work. But yeah, this feels a little bit more cushion than the Rebel V3, but just as soft and unstable. Well, the Rebel V3 wasn't super unstable, but I think this, just because of how squishy it is, giving me a little bit of unstable vibes. Feeling a bit sluggish this morning, honestly. I was up late because the Sunday night football game was delayed by 90 minutes. I usually just watch the first half and go to bed. I only watched halfway into the first quarter, but that still took us to 10:10 or 10:15, so that's on me. I think I still got 8 hours of sleep, it's fine. But because of that, I want to do a little bit of surging here, trying to wake up the legs, wake up the central nervous system. I just did one back there, and the shoes felt pretty lively, so another one here. Let's see. Yeah, big Rebel V3 vibes from this midsole. Mile 3, 720s and 730s, we're clipping them off. This is a workhorse. That's what this is. I can't necessarily feel the weight difference between the shoes. I can never feel stuff like that. But it does not feel as light and zippy as the Rebel V4 and SL2. Definitely has a little bit more of a substantial vibe. The weird thing is, not the most protective. This foam is super squishy, so it's kind of in between. It's a fast workhorse. Yeah, almost at mile 4 here. Doing another little fast surge to keep the legs alive. And this shoe works really well for that. This midsole has some great bounce when picking up the pace. Alright, so that was mile 5. We're cruising 720s, 730s. The shoe is solid. I don't have any real major complaints. It's exceeded my expectations for sure. I can see why Charlie loves this so much. It's soft, it's bouncy, a little bit of flexibility, especially if you're not logging high mileage. This is not going to be my pick for a 20-mile long run, unless I'm trying to flex on an anti-environmentalist or something. Big oil. Who you calling small, big oil? No, I don't know. This is not going to be my pick for a 25-mile double day or something, but for 30 minutes to an hour, it's got good swag, good pop, and it picks up the pace decently. So I'll see what we get on these last 3 miles. I kind of feel like I'm running with a weighted vest today, but a wise man once said, sometimes it be like that. Bada boom, bada bang. All right, let's see what we got here. 1 hour, 1 minute, and 1 second. 111, because this shoe is number 1 at everything. No, I'm just kidding. 8 and a Kobe. Oh, it's a double Kobe this morning. Bang! 824 and 724 pace. So I haven't used the B word in a while, but I think we're going to have to bring it out this morning because we have a certified banger on our hands here. The combination of the looks of this shoe with the bounciness of the foam and the comfort is awesome. Now, I know weight is not great. That really is holding this shoe back on paper, but when I'm out there, it's not too bad. It is, now look at this. It is a very flexible shoe, so that's a good thing for some people out there. If you're looking for a flexible shoe in the rotation, but you don't want to go total sicko mode with the Topo Cyclone, this would be nice. It's like you took the Rebel V3, Hoka Mach 6, Nike Pegasus Plus, Adi Zero SL2, and smashed them all together. The best way to describe this foam, it almost is like a non-plated Light Strike Pro. So that's the SL2 part, but it's a little bit softer. That's why it was giving me Rebel V3 vibes. So if you could think of Rebel V3 mixed with that Adidas sturdiness, that's what you get. It feels very sturdy, and that is the benefit of the weight here. And I think this would be a nice one for all my bigger slugs out there. 38 caliber slugs. No, I know nothing about weaponry. I don't know why I would say that. But yeah, for any of my bigger slugs out there putting in work, if you're looking for that lower stack speed training shoe with some snap and pep, this could be a good option. Now, it's not the lightest again, but if you're a stronger runner, I don't think you're going to mind. And I should have done strides on the last mile. I just completely forgot. But I did do some surges throughout that run, just pace pickup here and there, and it responds really well. You still feel that soft cushion, but you get the bounce. And it's certified dad drip. And what I was thinking as I was running back up here, if you're looking for that one shoe to take on a trip with you, that travel shoe, this could be it. It looks really clean. I love the look of this thing. In the tan, What is that? It's like a nest of some sort. Yeah, it looks clean. The ride is comfortable and bouncy. Just, I really wish, so the looks of it are great. The feel of it is great. I just wish the price were a little bit lower. Right, I'm going to shower, then we can get to this breakdown. What are you up to? What are you doing? You're checking the mail? Yeah. Can I see? Want to try, really? Yeah. Yeah. You want to give this to mommy?
Yeah, sure.
You want to say what you thought about the Hylo? What do you think about your Hylos?
I like them. They're super bouncy.
Bouncy?
And just comfortable.
Why'd you switch to the More V5s as your everyday shoe?
I don't know. It's a great question. There's definitely more cushion in these.
More cushion, yeah. That's what I felt too. They weren't the most protective.
Yeah, but I feel that's okay sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you don't want to.
Yeah. Who would you recommend these for?
People who like to have fun.
Fun. Okay, there you go. Look at that. So instead of showering, I decided to grab Charles for a quick cameo. So this is her pair of Hylos. Can you tell the difference here? So she has a all white pair, and you can see there's some wear. Let's darken that out just a touch. Yeah, you can see there's some wear on hers, but she wore these probably, so she doesn't track mileage on shoes, but she'll use them when she has a shoe that she likes, like the More V5 right now, or this. She'll just use them every day. So she used this every day for probably 2 to 3 months, and you can see it's in pretty good shape. The rubber isn't worn down. She is more of a forefoot runner, but you can still read all the text here, so it's not completely down to the ground. Now, she didn't put a ton of running miles, but this was everyday use, some working out, some running, a lot of walking, and she thought it was comfortable and fun. For some context, this is right here on the right side. Is that the right side of your screen? This one here is mine, the brand new one, and this one is hers. So not a ton of wear. Look at that. So let's dive into run performance of the Hylo Impact. Let's throw up our run on the screen here. So we did 8 miles at a 7:24 pace. We have Reevesy and Charles coming down. Bro, I gave Reevesy the worst haircut because he's just so terrified of the clippers. Last time I gave him a super fresh fade, and I used 4 different clipper lengths. I blended it in and everything. This time I said, you know what, but there's tons of screaming. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna do the one on the sides, try to blend it as good as I can. It didn't turn out great, and he was just screaming so much. So if you have any tips for cutting a toddler's hair, let me know, because that was rough. That was rough. And I'm just looking at it now, my patchwork haircut. But yeah, 8 miles at around a 7:20 pace. You guys walking?
Let's run. Okay, let's run. All right, we have to get out of the street because you're in the street. Let's go up.
Alright, I've said this before, but benefits and drawbacks of working from home, and they're still right there, just doing complete shenanigans. But 8 miles, it's soft, it's bouncy, the stability is, and this is something I noticed actually right now, and they did call this out as one of the pieces of tech. They have this medial, this inside piece right here of the foam pushed up to cradle the foot, and same thing in the back here. And if you take a look at the back of the shoe, they actually do have some sort of a lightweight support piece. It's not a completely flexible upper. In the back here, there's a little bit of stability, but stability is not the greatest. That's just because the foam is soft and squishy, but it's fun, it's bouncy, and this is something that's lacking from a lot of the shoes in the market right now. These brands who are on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th iteration of their daily trainers, they first drop them like the Saucony Endorphin Speed or the New Balance Rebel, and then they widen them out. They add more stability, they firm up the foam. Take a look at what happened to the Nova Blast 4, right? And I'm not over here yelling at the sky and saying, get off my lawn, give me unstable shoes. Adidas actually did give us a fun, slightly unstable shoe in the SL2. But with this newer product, Hylo isn't scared to give us something that's pure fun. So if you miss the feel of that Rebel 2, if you miss the feel of they're literally right there. It's just throwing me off my game. There's a 2-year-old and my wife and a baby. If you miss the feel of some of those unstable shoes, or if you like the feel of something like the Nike Invincible, this might be a fun shoe for you. Now, it's not as soft as the Invincible, It's not as squishy as that ZoomX, but it is a pretty soft shoe with having some energy. It's energetic. It's not light, but it's fast. It gives you some pop. So overall, a very fun shoe. Comfort is good, and this is where the downside comes in, as we just got Charles' take up there. Compared to a lot of the other everyday running shoes on the market, it's not the most protective. Compared to the lightweight speed trainers, it's decently protective, but compared to a lot of the Max Stack shoes that I would typically run in, of course, compared to the Mag Maxes of the world and the Glycerin Maxes of the world, it's going to be nowhere near as protective. But even compared to some of these $140 shoes, like the New Balance 860, which I like, even compared to something like the Brooks Hyperion 2, because that's a little bit firmer, this feels like it just compresses down a bit more and gives some more ground feel. So if you are actively seeking a daily trainer that's fun with some ground feel, this would be a nice pick. As you can see, it's nice and flexible all throughout the platform. There's no plate in here. And again, a lot of these brands are jacking up the stack height, adding in the plates. This still does have 39 in the back, 31 in the front, but because it's softer, it compresses, gives more of that ground feel and flexibility versus a firmer midsole, like even the Triumph 20, that was a 38 or 39. That was a 37 in the back actually, but feels more protective than this. So it's fun, decent comfort, not the most protective, but comfort as in soft and squishy. It looks really good. It has the environmentally conscious cachet, which you can do your own research on that. This is a performance running channel, but in terms of the performance, I am impressed. And the design is awesome. This is really good looking shoe. I love this colorway. The all white colorway is pretty clean too. I really don't think you can even tell a difference on camera right now. My colorway is more tan. This is pure white with the black. And then the durability seems like it's going to be solid based on Charlie's pair, but again, that is not a ton of running. So I would say that's probably translates to between 50 and 80, let's call it 70 miles of wear on this shoe, 3 months of everyday use. And you can see there's a little bit of this fraying actually on the inside here. She kind of clicks her heels together sometimes. So that's just a little bit of wear, but not, if you could actually see the More V5, that thing is completely burnt on the inside here. So if the durability can hold up, that is the one question mark I have about this shoe. That would justify the $165 price point more, but I feel if this were a shoe by a mainstream brand, like an Adidas, like a New Balance, $150 would be the appropriate price for it. So you just have to accept with these newer brands, with these cooler, trendier brands like the Tracksmiths of the world, you are going to be paying a slight premium. So that's what you're getting here. And thankfully, unlike Tracksmith, you're not paying a $60 premium, because the Elliott Runner is more like a $140 or a $150 or a $160 shoe. So you're paying a ridiculous premium on that. For this, you're paying a $10 to $15 to $20 premium, which is okay. So if you like the brand, you like the design, if you want to have something different when you show up at the run club or you're pulling up to the basketball game with the dad drip, this would be a good shoe. If you are looking for, say you have a budget of up to $200 and you're looking for one shoe to travel in, to do airport walking, to take to the beach trip, to use at the treadmill, and for some running while you're traveling, this would be a great shoe. I prefer the ride of this to the Elliott Runner after today, and Charlie's tested it, 3 months of wear testing on this, and she loves the comfort. Of course, not as cushioned as the More V5, but just for walking around deer and for jogging, you're not going to be fighting against the foam as much. So overall, really solid shoe, 165, tiny bit steep, but if you're willing to pay the price for swag and coolness, bada boom, bada bang. I'm not going to recommend this for long runs. If you're looking for a new long run shoe, no, I wouldn't really want to take this much past an hour today. But I didn't really love doing that with the Mach 5, Mach 6, Rebel V3, Rebel V4 either. Something like the Audi Zero SL2 is okay. You could take this, of course, you could take anything. I did a 27 mile long run in the Streak Fly, so if you want to be a hero, you could do that. But for most people, I'd suggest up to an hour, maybe 90 minutes with this. If you are traveling and you need something in a pinch to do that, this will be okay. I also think this would make a solid non-plated workout shoe just because of how energetic this midsole is, and for some of those strides we did, I didn't track them, but some of those pace pickups felt really good. So overall, I'm happy with this. Shout out to the environment And shout out to Challenger Brands taking a chance, putting some products out there. So yeah, the last thing I was gonna say about the whole environmental piece, I don't typically evaluate shoes based on that. So if you have any thoughts, if you have a take on what Hylo is doing and whether or not it's moving the needle, let me know. Let me know. I do think likely buying this versus buying something from Nike will lower the impact. But again, the best thing you could do if you are actively seeking to lower your environmental impact, get as many miles as possible out of your shoes. And I'm not preaching because I'm not saying I do all these things, but if someone were looking to do that, get the most miles as possible out of your shoes, buy a super durable shoe, or buy secondhand, like on the Supwell app. This is not a Supwell app plug. Well, I guess this is a Supwell app plug. But yeah, those are the things you could do. Buy thrifted, use your clothes for a long time. Don't waste. I don't know. Like I said, this is not the Al Gore running shoe channel. I'm not Greta Thunberg. All right. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. All right, recovery meal 1 here. I'm going OJ, and then bang. Charles and the kids made, looks kind of weird, but it's fire. It's overnight oats with chocolate as cocoa powder and chia seeds. It is so fire. And then they're making, honestly, I have no idea what they're making over there. Some sort of a sauce situation for lunch. To be continued. So goal for this week is to be super well fueled because of course we have the race on Sunday. So I'm not messing around with the nutrition. Lunch, we're doing homemade pesto with pasta and vegan meatballs. And I can feel right now I am a little bit under fueled. And this is the tough thing about the morning runs, especially when I'm out there yapping for an hour about a shoe before I run in it. I eat a little bit of breakfast. It's hard for me to have a big breakfast. And then I come, I do all the filming stuff. I didn't nail the nutrition. So tomorrow I'm going to refuel right away, right after the run. That was my mistake today. I can tell I'm very hungry. So even though I had that oatmeal, that's all I've had today and it's noon. So that's not that great. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to do some, speaking of noon, I'm going to do some noon. 2 electrolyte tablets with this, and then we'll be good to go. Still deciding if I'm going to double today, but we just got to get the nutrition on point. That's my goal for this week. Just well prepared. We're locked in. All right, man, rolling. In the words of Lil Wayne, rolling. 4 miles, 7:29 pace, little recovery. I did decide to double today. Just keep the mustard on the dog, keep the legs moving. Volume lower this week, intensity a lot lower this week, but frequency, at least in the front of the week, keeping it where it needs to be. Probably not going to double tomorrow, but a little run in the Mag Max, and then we'll have dinner. I did not run in the Hylo Impact because I just want a little bit more cushion. But then, Hylo Impact, this is a swag shoe. This colorway of the Mag Max is not it. Now, hold on. I just wanted to do a comparison here. I just laced these down. And the Hylo Impact is comfortable, but it's comfortable for what it is, which is a everyday running shoe. Just look at the difference in these. It's like comparing a Bentley Bentayga to a Porsche 911. I mean, this is just absurd. I don't know what kind of car these are. I need to go eat some food. I don't have all my car metaphors, but look at the width of the Mag Max compared to a normal running shoe. So that's what I'm saying. The Hylo Impact, which is a great shoe, is just not the most stable compared to these new shoes like the Nova Blast and the Mag Max. It's no Super Max stack. It's a flexible, everyday shoe with a fun, peppy feel to it. All right, shower and then dinner.
Do you know what it is?
No, I don't know what it is. What is it? Balsamic, arugula, and fig jam, arugula, balsamic, mushrooms.
Arugula and a balsamic glaze.
Fire. That looks absolutely insane. And there's another one that's what?
The other one is
Let's go check it out.
pesto. But it's basil and arugula pesto.
This is
with-
basil arugula. It's so dark.
With red peppers and burnt chorizo.
Fire.